And thanks for the opportunity to come in and share a little bit of what we're doing at Best Western. I'm excited to be here with somebody that I've had the pleasure to work with for over 10 years, Travis Smith, one of our hospitality management trainers here. And to just show you what a tool that we created here to help us change our live instructor-led sessions into virtual. So the problem we were trying to solve is we had a legacy live instructor-led program every month for new GMs that started at a Best Western hotel. And they could be a brand new hotel that opened, one that converted into a Best Western, or just a regular turnover. So we do about 300 or 400 people a year through this critical cultural training. With over 2,100 hotels in North America, you can figure out the math on that. It's about 15–20%. So we had to take this core program that's been around for decades and transfer it into a virtual delivery to deal with everything that we've got now. So most of our subject matter experts aren't instructional designers. They have a lot of knowledge and they have a lot of content. And as I'm sure a lot of you know, sometimes having them pare down that content into something that's manageable for the learners is a little bit of a push and pull. And that team that put together that content was well over 50 people from over 11 internal departments. So coordinating that effort was really a monstrous undertaking when we first set out to it. So we kind of put our heads together and we said, how can we accomplish something here for everybody? If you think about your subject matter experts, if they're anything like the ones that we have here, this is how they like shooting content over to people. It is just an information overload. So our SMEs know their content really well, experts in every sense, but most develop and deliver their own content, so they don't have experience in instructional design. They know their content up and down, but they might not know the best way to deliver it. We like to say they try to stuff 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. In live delivery, they could get away with it because of interaction that they had with their learners and in sessions, but in virtual, it's more difficult to engage with the learners. We just learned from Mike all these great tips and tricks. So I'm going to turn it over to Travis Smith to kind of walk us through the tool that we developed to show it to you guys. Travis.
Fantastic. Thanks, Colby. So here you're going to see that we developed an Excel tool for our SMEs to really look at and evaluate their content. And it followed a step-by-step approach, which I'm going to go through with you here in just a moment, to bring their virtual content together, and while also helping them to stay on task and manage the project. The additional benefit to this is that we switched from what Colby referred to as the push and pull to more of a collaborative kind of experience for both us and the SME. And since we were working with them on the outset, providing tools, the SMEs felt really much more open and to the feedback in the creative process. It breaks let's go ahead and break down the fuzzy process into 6 basic steps. If we look at step number 1, Colby, if you can give me a click there, awesome. So step number 1, what we really were looking to do here is get the SMEs to think of their content in small micro-learning chunks. While the individual micro-learning chunks would roll up into a bigger content piece, each chunk needed to be able to stand on its own, meaning you could literally pull it out, teach just that chunk, and it would make sense without the context before or after. So when we were able to get them to do that, then we asked them to identify really what the learners needed to take away from each section or whatnot. And so to do this, we taught them Bloom's taxonomy, not depth of knowledge, because it gave them more granularity with more levels of learning. So in the process, this helped the SMEs really look at their content in new ways. It helped them plan more effective content, and the content that didn't have goals attached to it got cut in most cases. So that's the levels of learning. In the next step, step number 3, we worked to figure out what was required for the course and what was optional. You might know that as the nice to know versus the need to know. And as Colby indicated, in the classroom environment, a lot of the content is loaded with that nice to know, but we really wanted to streamline this and deliver only need to know. So some of the courses, quite honestly, were 3 hours in the traditional classroom, and we were able to get that to under 90 minutes. If it was nice to know and the SME really wanted that delivered, then we would work with the SME to deliver that in an optional course, not required. In addition, we provided 3 channels of delivery for the content. And I should preface this by saying, in most circumstances, if not all, we, from the training side, informed or told the SMEs what channel they would be delivering the content on. So kind of took the guesswork out of that for them. But you can see here the 3 choices. We used Yumu. Yumu.com is an interactive kind of e-learning platform. If you've not checked it out, I would highly encourage you to go look and see what they're using there. And we would deliver our e-learning content there. The virtual live is being done through Zoom. And then, of course, we had some prerequisite work that is on our LMS BWI University. Once the SMEs were able to identify those kind of first 4 elements, then we move into really planning the activities that are going to make this training engaging and thought-provoking, interactive, and so on and so forth. So we provided them a list of a la carte options to include in each piece of the content. And this really allowed the SMEs to plan out the most interactive and effective delivery to reinforce the learning of each section's content. What some of the SMEs found in this process is that they discovered new and creative ways to deliver an otherwise boring content. Example, just based on the last session we were in, a narrated PowerPoint. So what we found is that SMEs were actually looking and challenged to find more interactions than just a few. So in step number 6, this was about the timing. So after we selected the delivery method and planning for the learner interactions, the SMEs had to plan each section, again, keeping with the micro-learning, and we suggested chunking the content in 7 to 10-minute segments and reinforce that with some sort of activity afterwards. The planner automatically totaled the time to the bottom. This was eye-opening for even our most seasoned and familiar SMEs in the instructional design process. It really helped align the expectations, again, going back to the need to know versus nice to know, and dig in on the most effective and efficient ways to deliver the content. So what you're looking at now is essentially, Colby, if you can go back 1 slide. I don't want to let this one pass. What you're looking at now is a sample of a finished planner. And this planner is actually delivered or was put together by one of our SMEs who shall remain nameless, but he is named after a cheese. He may be from Canada, and he may have red hair.
Smooth, Travis.
Couldn't resist. So then the final step was that we took all these Excel documents from those 11 or 12 so departments. We moved all of those, migrated those into a tool called Smartsheet. Some of you might be familiar. It's a web-based project management tool that includes Gantt board views, automatic reminders and notifications of key deadlines and past due notifications. And the beautiful part about this is that we were able to then move that collaboration virtual, and we were able to attach the content. The SMEs could literally upload their PowerPoint decks, their quizzes, their questionnaires, their discussion questions directly into Smartsheet so that we in education and training could then pull it down and build it out in the proper channel. So that is our Excel document and the process we followed. Colby, I'll hand it back over to you for a few finished takeaways.
Yeah. So I mean, we took like a monumental challenge here, and then just with what Travis was able to put together in this tool, really kind of changed the way we were interacting with our SMEs. So it created new conversations. It enhanced collaboration. Travis mentioned we're not push-pull anymore, but we're true collaborators. And we're starting to design that interactive content right from the ground up. So it's improved. Travis even mentioned, even for myself, being able to challenge myself and see it on screen utilizing this tool really even helped what the content that I was putting together for this delivery method. So a little best practice from the team here at Best Western. We certainly appreciate Chart for the recognition, for the high five. One person I did want to give a big shout out to, Donna Herbal, really helped us kind of put together our best practice approach even before we started developing this tool in terms of how to deliver really effective online virtual training. We wouldn't have had that help if it wasn't for Chart. So just another value that the organization brings. That's us. Sarah, we'll turn it back to you. Thanks again.